Tell me about Atlantic City with our youngest sister, Mary, for her 21 birthday celebration.
Okay. I thought you were going to also add that it was with our brother, Jimmy.
With our brother, Jimmy.
And our sister-in-law, Danielle. Okay.
Who are the best people to gamble with. The absolute best.
Wait till you hear this.
Oh, God. Okay.
They're the best to gamble with. Well, Mary had a great time.
She told me she doubled her money.
Yeah. She came out on top.
Wow.
You know who didn't come out on top? This guy.
Kate, that was the luck. It's the sister luck. Remember when I went to you and I lost all the monnie?
I thought about that.
That's just how it happens. It's like the younger sister rule.
Well, Jimmy got he was having a good time. I'll say that. Having a good time. And then there's a section of the casino that's called it's like the Diamond Club or something stupid. I don't know. Me and Mary didn't know what that was. So we went in to be like, are there any fun slot machines? And then we immediately were like, nah, we left. But Jimmy, that's where he gambles. So we're like, okay, guess we'll go in there. This was later in the night, like the very end of it. Jimmy, he put in money. He had a lot of money in. And he hit on this slot. You want to know how much he won?
No.
In one hit?
Oh, God. What?
It was like 1,000.
Woo!
And we were like, ah! And he, stone cold serious is like, that's right, that's how you do it. And then we're like, you gotta cash out. And he goes, when I get 700, I'll cash out. And we're like, okay. And then he got down to 700. We're like, all right, cash out. He goes, no, I said 650. And then we cash out. We're like, no. Then he,
Jimmy, no.
And he kept going. And then
he's like, get you.
Then he finally did, I think. I don't know.
Oh,
we're like,
God.
we're gonna go to bed. We gotta go.
Wow, so he was wee Jimmy.
He was wee Jimmy. We attempted to play craps, but the buy-in was really expensive.
Oh.
And I had my turn to roll the dice, and I threw them off the table. I wish I could say that's the first time I've done that, listeners, but it's not at all.
Did Mary run away, in her Pokemon shirt? This is so embarrassing.
No, I told her she wasn't allowed to wear a Pokemon shirt, even though I love Pokemon. And then some guy stood next to me and literally rolled up with, the biggest thing of Reese's Pieces. And I was like, sir, are you eat tea? And I didn't know.
Did he start, betting with it?
I wish. And then we got to the bar, and then Danielle was like, let's have the DJ play. I want to dance with somebody. And I was like, I'll go ask him. And then I go up, and the guy's like, I'm literally done. I'm packing up. And I was like, one more! Just one more, please! And he's like, fucking fine. So he puts the song on, and I'm at one end of the bar, and the song starts playing. Oh, and Mary was with me. And then Danielle from across the bar is like, ah! And she got up and danced over. And then as she's dancing over, some other random woman by herself is next to
it's
Danielle.
All these women came together. Oh my God.
It was so funny. And then it was just the four of us, me, Mary, Danielle, and that random lady. We danced to that song. And then the DJ's like, wow. Now I'm done. I gotta go. So it was a great time. Highly recommend the experience.
Wow.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop. Sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
That was so high pitched that your audio cut out. Because that's what Zoom does.
Oh my god. Hey everybody.
Hello.
Figaro.
That's the thing with these 90s movies is a lot of the openings, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but when they start, I'm always like, right, the cartoon shit.
Totally.
Well, Bridge, I'm going to introduce us.
Let's do it.
All right, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And it was a run by Fruity.
Dude looks like a lady.
You know, I was a little disappointed we didn't have Man, I Feel Like a Woman, but I'll let it go.
I don't know. Shania was a little more empowering. This was a little wacky-dacky.
And not so PC this time around watching.
Wow. Okay, Kate, this was a fan pick. Do you remember the fan pick?
Molly!
We're here. We're doing it.
We got cake on our face for you. Just kidding, we don't.
Would you like a little bit of sugar? Ooh, number 2. Here's another. Ooh.
And that lady fucking drank that tea. I was like, girl, those are germs.
She drank it. She put it on her face and she ate it again.
It's not good. Wait, what's our movie break?
Wow, it is the 1993, which is the best year for movies. And the movie is starring Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire, all right.
Wow. And if you haven't seen this one in a while, and you've become an adult like us, it doesn't hit the same.
There were a lot of parts where I was like...
No, it does not.
But I still laughed a lot, and I still have a positive view on it, but yeah, not...
Wow.
It's just so 90s.
Wow. Kate?
Who's doing the synopsis? Me?
Beep, beep, beep. Should I read the one sentence for you to kick you off?
I think you should. Please do.
A divorced dad finds a way to reconnect with his family. He adopts a costume and an accent, becomes Mrs. Doubtfire, an unpredictable and crazy nanny to his kids.
Woo! Yeah, all right.
Take it away.
Okay, well, it's about a divorced dad who becomes a nanny, and I'm just kidding. All right, well, we got a lot of heavy hitters in this movie.
Wow, do we?
We have the iconic and the respect with our right hand, because he has since passed, Robin Williams. Respect. Love you. He plays Daniel. Daniel. Well, you know, Daniel as a kid seems super cool, but as an adult, Daniel is the type of man that I try really hard to avoid on the dating apps, but sometimes you don't know that's who you're talking to. And then you know pretty quickly that's who you're talking to, because he's the epitome of a man-child.
Man-child.
Yeah.
Peter Pan does sprinkled left and right.
Peter Pan off of this damn Robin Williams. Yes.
If you know, you know, listeners.
Yeah, so he's married to Miranda, who is the Queen Sally Field.
Ooh.
I fucking love her in this movie. So I love her in every movie, but specifically in this movie because I think she makes amazing facial expressions. So they're married, and Miranda is responsible, has a job, is basically the breadwinner, keeping this family together because they also have 3 children. They have older daughter Lydia, middle child Chris. He's got a bowl cut. We'll talk about it. And the youngest, who is the cutesiest, little Mara Wilson. Is this her first Mara Wilson movie?
This is Matilda's first movie.
But is this our first Mara Wilson movie on the podcast?
I believe so.
Love Mara Wilson. I still want to buy her. She wrote a book about her life. I really want to buy it.
Wow.
Anyway, okay, so that's the children. So Miranda's got a job. Daniel, quits jobs, and, we're supposed to support it, but that's not how you do life. So basically the movie starts off where they get in a pretty big fight because he's irresponsible and she's not, and she then is like, you know what? I want a divorce. And then he's like,
Awkies.
shit. And she's like, yep. So divorce. And then it's not one of those movies where it's like a will they, won't they divorce. It's a, all right, next scene, we're divorced. So bye-bye.
We're in the court.
Yeah. So now there is legal shit where they're like, wow, Miranda, you're the only responsible adult in these poor children's lives. We're going to give you custody, but he's going to be allowed to see them only 1 day a week. However, he's got 3 months to get a job, find a place to live, and get his shit together.
Yo, this timeline matters.
500
days of summer timeline matters.
Wait, never in my life prior to did I pick up on that, but watching this now, I was like, wait, this is fucked up. Yeah. 3 months, that's all we got. So he does end up getting a job and a place to live, but he's still like, wham, I want to see my kids more, wham. And then he finds out Miranda is going to hire, she lists it as a housekeeper. So it's someone to clean the house and make dinner and then help with the kids. So his bright idea, which which I don't know how this is the first idea that we have, but this is the first idea we have, is to dress as a lady and impersonate an old woman who doesn't exist and be the housekeeper. And that does sound like a horror movie, the way I described it, but it's really fun! And everybody's giggling and funny voices. And
I, by the end of the movie, wrote in my notes, she. So he did it so well.
Yes.
That I was like, Mrs. Doubtfire is another person.
Even the, like, characters in the movie are like, we miss her. Like, she was great. And I was like,
they used proper pronouns. Absolutely.
Yeah, they did. That's true. So that's really the plot of the movie. And then, obviously, there's a lot of comedy stuff in here where it's like, LOL, like, he's gotta be two people at once, and that's silly, and he's hiding from the family. Eventually, the two kids find out, the two older kids, but they keep it a secret. And, and then Miranda starts dating Stu, which sounds like a thick soup.
Oh, darling, typically a thick soup, no?
I love it. This is so funny. Stu is Pierce Brosnan. This is years before Mamma Mia, y'all. Don't ask why that's my first Pierce Brosnan movie in my brain, but it is. And he's like literally got it all, and I'm so happy for Miranda that she was able to rekindle her romance with him, because he's a stud and she deserves that. And then in the end, Daniel, who is Mrs. Doubtfire, is unmasked as Daniel, Mrs. Doubtfire, and then she freaks out and it's really horrific, and then the court's like, oh my god, you are a mentally unstable man and you're not allowed to see the kids unless someone's with you. And then he's like, wah! And then he basically peer pressures Miranda and guilt trips her. And then at the end, he just gets to see them and life is good. And now we're all happy. That's the end.
Wow, sit with that. Wait, I'm going to throw this out for you. So do you know who was going to play Mrs. Doubtfire instead of Robin Williams? And if he did, it could actually be a horror film.
I'm worried it was Chris Farley.
Tim Allen.
Oh no.
Height of his fame, 90s. Can you imagine?
Oh my god, Tim the Toolman Taylor in a grandma wig.
The only person who could have pulled this off is Robin Williams.
Yes. Oh my god, amazing.
Wait, let's talk about some facts, Kate.
I would love to hear some fun facts. Or
fun
facts. I don't know if they're fun.
It's 1993, as we know. We don't need to repeat the phrase, but we know it's the best year of movies. And Kate, what do you think is the highest grossing film in 1993?
Jurassic Park.
Absolutely. Do you want to know what the number second one is?
Was it this one?
Yup.
Wow!
Mrs. Doubtfire was so fucking popular, it followed Jurassic Park.
And they both had dinosaurs because we love dinos in the 90s.
I'm a raptor doing what I can, gonna eat everything to the coming of man. Yo, daddy, I'm hitting above the soil. I'll be back, but I'm coming as oil.
Bridget. Wait, Robin Williams also raps as Batty in Fern Gully, and did he want to be like a secret rapper and no one took him seriously? What's going on? Why is that happening?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Also, so many of the funniest scenes were absolutely ad-libbed.
Oh, thank God.
The scene where his mask falls off into the coffee.
Yeah.
It was just hot on
amazing.
Set.
Oh my god.
The actual mask, that was like his idea to put his face in the cake. I just feel like there was just like endless examples. His teeth falling out into the Chardonnay.
Yeah, and then trying to like scrape it out with the...
Absolutely. But I think we should get into it because each scene I had a completely different feeling. And I have to say, there is some themes that I don't like. I think there's a little bit of transphobia.
A lot of transphobia and a lot of homophobia.
Homophobia and misogynistic.
Yup.
And I was like, And then, as a mommy now and married woman, I had a lot of thoughts about a fucking husband pulling this one off. And then thinking about like custody with your kids and the drama that is so heavy in this.
The drama.
And Robin Williams just makes you laugh so hard that you completely forget about it is Oscar worthy.
Yeah, I cry at the end of the movie when they do that little add-on where it's like Mrs. Doubtfire talking about like, divorce is not your fault, children. I'm like, it's so beautiful and important for kids to hear.
You're like, why isn't Mrs. Doubtfire on TV?
I would watch
God.
that, honestly.
Okay, so we start off with a cartoon where he sings Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. But it's like an American cartoon with the birds singing Italian opera.
I just assumed it was knockoff Looney Tunes, which, again, I was
Yes.
kind of like, but even in the 90s, like, were Looney Tunes, like, jam? I mean, we did have Space Jam coming up in a couple years, so I guess they were still kicking. But it's fine, because I think the only reason they had this in here was, one, for us to kind of get an intro to him doing voices, and that he's funny.
He's
but
so funny.
also, for the movie to then give us the little scene where he's like, smoking is bad. And I think if the movie's like, see, guys, Daniel's a great person. And you're like, yeah, but that doesn't make him the best. What do you mean? Like,
I didn't take that at all.
oh, really?
I took it like, okay, he cares about, like, children.
Oh.
But I did take it as, like, he's just impulsive. I mean, he quit using a Porky Pig voice. Piss off, Lou.
Yeah, well, because he's a dick. He's a man-child.
But, like, what if you told your boss you were quitting as Porky Pig?
I've personally never done that, but there is still time. So who knows what'll happen?
Oh, my God.
So immediately, though, he goes, meets the kids, and the older sister, Lydia, she's like, oh, so you, like, got fired. Like, she's, like, with it. And then he's like,
Yo,
I quit.
so
And then she's like, okay, that's fine then. And I was like, wait, is it? Or is it, like, now we're financially unstable again? Great, thanks, Dad. But Dad can afford a mobile petting zoo, so...
Okay, let's talk about this birthday party.
I would go, but I would be upset about the mess.
So we need to address that Chris is Boy Meets World character.
Oh, Sean.
No.
Oh.
What?
He's not
What?
Sean from Boy Meets World?
No.
Ryder Strong? With the hair?
Wait.
You don't think?
Where? Matthew Lawrence.
Are you saying he's a real character on Boy Meets World?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant, like, we were comparing hairstyles. Sorry. My bad. Wow, I gotta watch Boy Meets World.
He's Sean's half-brother, so you're almost there.
Okay, well...
Okay, that's besides the point. But we do know that Matthew Lawrence, for those 90s kids, you know who he is, and it is so weird to see him as a little child because I didn't put two and two together. So he's 12 years old.
Yes.
I get it. We're having a birthday party. Great. It's your birthday. Dad quits his job. Okay, cool.
This is a surprise birthday party, too. Like, he didn't tell his friends, but they all showed up.
Well, Kate,
Bridge.
I'm just gonna say, if I had a unreliable parent quit their job and say, Bridge, it's your birthday, you're 12, my friends are not able to show up same day.
Also, why does he have friends who are 6 years old? Because there were...
it was
this
uncomfortable.
actually looked like he just called a local preschool and was like, get him over here. I'll be the adult. And I was like, that kid's 7. What's happening?
It was absolutely awkward. And I thought, okay, we're really showing the juxtaposition of Robin Williams as a man-child.
Yeah.
Because he's having a child birthday party and he, like, fits in. How about the one kid swinging from the chandelier?
That kid,
it.
I was like, is this Gremlins? And also, are you stuck? Because I'm worried about you. There's no other adults here to help you down.
So then we gotta talk about the timeline. He's like, we have 4 hours. So in 4 hours, he hires a petting zoo, invites all of the local preschool.
Yep.
Blast music so loud that the Karen neighbor calls. The police is called. Okay, this is a wild 12-year-old birthday party that makes Sally Field show up early, and he's like, oops, I would have had this cleaned up by the time you got home. Woody.
No, and also, why didn't the policeman go inside? Because he literally is just chilling. It almost, even though it wasn't like this, part of me was like, are you just waiting for, like, the mom to come home? Because you know that, like, women handle shit, and, like, this is not a lady inside doing this dumbass stuff.
I understand how much love people have for Robin Williams, like, as a person. I truly thought, though, like, this must be what he's like as a dad.
Yeah.
I was like, I bet you, like, at the height of his, like, 90s, like, cocaine and fueled, era.
Did you ever watch his documentary? There's a documentary about him.
No, but I want to. Is it awesome or is it sad?
It's both. It's very interesting to see, like, the progression of his fame, but I'm pretty sure he had, like, 2 or 3 different wives and then different kids via, and I was on HBO. I wonder if it's still on there.
Oh my god, we should watch it. I need to look that up.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Sally Field, she's a queen. Sally Field asks a legit question to a goat, which is important to reference because whenever I hear this flower name, I say this, you ate my begonia! It's like, when else do you hear begonias in a funny line, guys?
Wow. But boy, oh boy, was she pissed.
Oh my god, and she got him like a really nice cake and then some fucking pony ate it. Where are the animal handlers? Because I worked at a petting zoo and I couldn't just leave the children around the ponies. Especially our ponies, because they would bite, okay? And I had to tell the kids, don't look it in the eye.
Okay, well, Sally Field got past that.
Okay.
And she pulled the plug, literally and metaphorically, on the party. And does that end up in I'm sad, it's 90s, let's move to the next scene? No, we have an all-out brawl fight in front of the children sitting at the stairs. Awkies! And it doesn't end with like, hey, I'm so mad at you, I'm going upstairs. It ends with, I would like a divorce for the whole house to hear.
Oh my god, the part where he's like, but we love each other. And she's like, no. I was like, ooh, ouch.
Yeah, I just want to hug anybody that has to deal with that feeling, because this is where the 90s were like, divorce, moving on. And I'm like, no, divorce is like really sad.
No, I think they handled the divorce like kind of awesome in this movie.
Really?
You think it was like played down?
I think that, so they addressed the seriousness of it, but it was all around custody. They didn't really address the breaking up of like their love.
You're right.
So it was like all around the kids, and that's the part that like sucks about divorce. But it also should suck that like he misses loving his wife, that like it only shows up when he's jealous of Pierce Brosnan. I don't know. Okay.
I just want to reference this like conversation they have though, where she does then say like, I want a divorce, because like you said, there's some misogyny in here. I feel like it comes up in here, and I don't think the writers were this clever to make this purposeful. I have a feeling these were male writers, and there's a part where he's like, well, you're just like so into your job, and like, God, like, and I feel like that's such a fucking trope that only bites like women in the butt, where it's like, wow, you're working, wow, you don't love your family because you have a job, like you're supposed to be the mom. God, I'm like, ew, I hate that.
2 male writers, 1 female writer.
All right, at least there was one. She was probably the one writing for Sally Field's facial expressions, which I appreciate because those were fire. Okay, all right, well, like I said, we literally skipped to a court scene, and okay, so that's bad.
Custody is truly a heartbreaking thing. And he did this really well, where he was like 1 day a week.
Which, I'll be honest, working with kids and families, I unfortunately have come in contact with some situations where you're like, wow, this person should like never see this kid, but they get like half a week, and you're like, wait, are we sure?
God,
did you guys see
sad.
Mrs. Doubtfire? Because like, I don't know.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
But it's okay, Kate, because we end up with Harry Firestein talking to his mother again.
Oh my God, Ma, you won't believe
it's like
it. Jeff
Independence Day.
Goldblum was there too. I got blown up. It was crazy.
And by the way, they look nothing alike. You ain't related. Harry Firestein, how'd you get this role? What's happening?
I don't know. I think he was typecasted because 90s and it's terrible. But
wow.
It's a fun setup because if he didn't have a brother who was into prosthetics and makeup and special effects,
this ain't happening.
We ain't having Mrs. Doubtfire. He would have showed up with like a costume wig.
Oh my God. But so there's a couple bouncing around before they actually do, like he comes up with the scheme.
Yes.
And I forgot the scene where he meets, let's say, the social worker.
Oh my God.
Who is assessing. She's like, hey, you have 90 days. I'm going to come on Mondays and Fridays to just see how you're doing. And then I give a report on how you're doing. And that might change your custody outcome. And he's like, cool. She's like, so tell me what job you're going to look for since you don't have a job. And then he proceeds to give her like a one-on-one live Robin Williams comedy bit that is so funny even today.
Yep. Amazing.
I was laughing so hard. He is a lunatic.
I hope that was all improvised because it was just so great. The best is where he goes, I do a great impression of a hot dog.
Well, I wrote down the one thing where she goes, Mr. Hillard, do you think you're funny? And he was like, I used to think I was funny. But today, You've proven me wrong. Thank you.
It's so funny. Oh my
If somebody ever is like, oh, you think you're funny, Kate? That's the best line. To be like,
I used to.
I used to. Until today.
Wow, listeners, don't leave us a bad review, but you can leave us that comment in a review, and I will read it in our next episode and have that response. So, if anyone wants to experience that.
Oh my
there
god.
you go.
So then we're bouncing around, and then we gotta go to this motherfucking timeline, because all of a sudden, Stewie McStewster shows up, and what is it? Day 2 of divorce? And she's like, yeah, I'm about to go on dates again. Oh, geez, Sally, take a moment.
All right, listen, I support Sally Fields and everything she does, but yeah, after finding out the timeline, I was like, girl, I mean, he's fine, but maybe take a breath. She very weakly is like, oh, but I just got divorced like an hour ago. And then he's like, I don't care. And then she's like, okay, great. It's like,
also,
well,
I thought a little sexual harassment. Like, we're at work. First of all, the skip is like, oh my god, Stuart, I've been following his work. And then we learn later they went to college together.
they like dated, I think, because he made a reference where he was like, I always wanted you to be happy. And I was like, what is that? What'd you guys do?
I do not know. But then, like, if you see someone who you like their work and they start asking you out to dinner, that doesn't fly in 2022.
Yeah,
no siree.
But like, he's a stud muffin, so... And she, I guess, was lonely from her divorce that happened the day before. So, yeah, I
so awkward.
kind of wish there was more time between, but...
Yeah, why can't we have like 3 months? But we had to make this whole custody thing part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, Stu is just thrown right in there.
Fucking weird. But I do like that Stu is in this movie and that, for the most part, he's a genuine person, because I feel like we think back, listeners, to our It Takes Two episodes. Sometimes when you get a new love interest coming in, they don't got the best intentions or they're a bad person. But like, Stu's not. Like, he was really genuine. He liked her and he was nice and he liked the kids and like,
yeah,
I like that. And I'm glad that the movie didn't try to make him like, you know, a cartoon villain.
Yeah. The only thing is like, he was a little like snobby. Like, I'm sorry, if I come to the pool and you're on the highest dive and you do 3 somersault flips into a dive, you're a little bit of a douche.
And like, how long do you wait on that diving board
I cannot. Can you imagine if kids are trying to dive and he's like, no.
It's like, we gotta wait for the perfect moment. Miranda's coming in soon. Get out of here, 8-year-old.
Well, okay.
So
then he gets his apartment, right? He gets his apartment.
His apartment is an apartment. It's not terrible, but it's not really organized. We can all relate. And he's eating dinner with the kids, and it's Chinese food, which Chinese food is yummy, so I don't like how we kind of diss the Chinese food, say gross. But he starts doing the no-no that you should not do if you are divorced or getting divorced, is don't shit talk the other parent in front of your kids. Oh, and he makes a comment about Miranda, their mom, getting like dysentery, and then Mara Wilson is like, what's that? And then the kid Chris goes, it's where you get diarrhea forever. She goes, diarrhea forever. Which is another quote I say, not a lot, because that's weird, but I do say it sometimes. And then she calls out the dad, and she's like, why the fuck would you want mom to die and get diarrhea forever? And he's like,
my God.
Oh, I didn't mean it. And that's a lesson, okay?
Well, and then she does the repeating, like, you're my goddamn kids too, where she tells Sally Field, you know, we're his goddamn kids too.
Yeah, because LOL, like, kids cursing, and I was like, no.
I also need to talk about how funny it is that, like, every scene that Robin Williams is doing anything in, he must have, like, 2,000 jokes in this movie. Because she comes in and she's like, oh, your apartment. He's like, I'm going for a refugee motif here. And he's like, I like this Dances with Wolves thing you got going on.
I'm like, that.
How the his brain is moving at, like, freight train speed. And you can't even keep up with all the jokes. He's just, like, can you imagine sitting with him? You'd have to take cocaine to follow it.
Amazing. I love that. But this is where, I don't know how he gets this out of her, but he, like, annoys her enough, and then she's like, I'm placing an ad for a housekeeper, and he's like, just let me do it. And then her brain goes through the 5 billion memories of him inviting literal barnyard animals into the home and leaving a mess and not cleaning it up, and she quickly goes, you know, we're gonna get an actual housekeeper, which is appropriate.
Yeah. But he pulls a really good move. So the reason that he knows about it is she gets there early. This makes him mad. He goes, you're early. And she's like, I got to go to the bank and the newspaper. And he's like, why are you going to the newspaper? And he made a joke like, you're filling out an ad to like date someone. And she was like, no, I'm getting a housekeeper. Now, it is 1993. So we go with paper to the newspaper and we hand them a piece of paper.
We do.
So I absolutely loved that we didn't have to have a scene where Robin Williams was like, I think I'm going to create this scheme to be a woman. It was all show, not tell. He fixed the numbers. The audience was smart enough to know what was happening. I could absolutely see Sally Field not thinking about it. And that was such a brilliant setup. I was like, I looked at the writers' names and the woman was named Leslie. This was absolutely Leslie.
Leslie?
Okay?
Love you.
Way to go. So then he gets to prank call his ex-wife.
Yeah, well, now we get more Robin Williams impressions, which is really wonderful. Some of them are transphobic. Some of them are a little racist. But the best one that we can all agree on is when Sally Field answers the phone and Robin Williams goes, Glass, you get back in that tail, don't make me get the hose. I don't know what the fuck it means, but it's so great, and I love it.
I literally wrote, I love how he just prank calls his ex-wife. I completely understand why she divorced him. Because, like, can you fucking imagine? So, he then comes up on the fly with the Mrs. Doubtfire voice, the whole backstory. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
By the way, there's some fun facts that this was originally a book
Whoa!
back in the 70s in England.
Of a man getting divorced and dressing up as a... Oh. I should have known this was fucking from England because they love to cross-dress and
they
men
love
pretend
nannies,
they're women.
right?
And they love nannies.
Wow.
Yes.
But he seals the deal and he's like, cool, I didn't think that far. And then he goes to Harry Firestein.
Oh my God.
Can you make me a woman? And then he says, I thought you'd never ask. Which, by the way, two gay men are not just waiting around for a straight guy to dress like a woman. They're not. Sorry, they got things to do.
They're busy.
Okay?
They probably have, like, rich, fulfilling lives. It's not all about you, Daniel. God. But again, we get fun montage.
Okay, this was a great montage, though.
So many montages.
Let's make me a match. Buy me a buy. Catch me a touch.
I feel like Mom sings that a lot. Like, anytime one of our faces is, like, next to someone else's, she'll just start singing that, and you're like, oh no.
So freaking funny. And seeing, like, different versions of, like, what type of woman to go for, amazing.
Yep.
Amazing. I think this would actually be another pop-up we do, where you can come, it's the Mrs. Doubtfire like, pop-up. Men can come in, and we just, like, have them try different female outfits and looks, and then we just find the one that's perfect for them.
And then the women come in, and they get to make out with Pierce Brosnan for 5 minutes.
Oh my God, and, like, in the pool.
He does a flip dive for each woman before making out with them. Yeah, that'd be really popular.
Wow.
Okay. Well, they figure out what's the best look, and the best look is an old lady. Because...
Wait, we gotta talk about this old lady. Do you know how old the judge calls Mrs. Doubtfire later in this movie?
The judge?
So the judge goes, Daniel, you were pretending to be an older woman who is 60 years old.
What? 60? Girl! She's like 85 minimum.
She was like 85. I was like,
what?
So motherfucking Hollywood rude. We couldn't even get the appropriate age.
Did that mean that judge was like 35? Like, what do you
Exactly.
mean? Like, what is
I'm telling you, I caught it and I was like, oh, the pain.
Wow, they had like a lot of trouble with numbers in this movie. I think that's the conclusion we're coming to because they don't know people's ages. There was a 5-year-old at the 12-year-old's birthday party. I don't fucking know. It's crazy.
Can I tell you though, when he meets the kids, he gives them tough love. He's doing his job. And then Sally Field and him do the chit chat in the kitchen. If I divorced Mr. James and then he bamboozled me to be a nanny and I was sharing with that nanny of him to him, the mindfuckery of me figuring that out later, can you imagine?
Yeah.
That is messed up.
Yes.
I would die. I would die.
The whole time, Daniel. The whole time.
Oh my god.
Well, Miss Doubtfire gets hired, and you know what I think works too about Miss Doubtfire being an old lady is, because really a lot of the stuff that's being said is still kind of like backhanded compliments and like weird jokes, but because it's coming from what we think is an old lady, we're all like, you're crazy.
And British.
And we're just like, every time she says something rude to Sally Field, like Sally Field's just like, oh my god, Mrs. Doubtfire, you're crazy. Whereas like if Daniel said that, she would have been like, fuck off, Daniel.
Pretty much.
That's the only reason this works. Like, there's no other way.
There was some good moments where I love that the bus driver was like sexually harassing her.
I do too. I was like, thank you. Lessons are learned.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And he talks about how he likes her Mediterranean look with her hairy legs because it's natural. And I thought we've all dealt with that one.
And I also thought, are you related to the bus driver from Hocus Pocus? Because that also came out in 1993. And there's something going on with these horny bus drivers that somebody needs to talk about. Because
get it together.
This is coming up. Okay.
Then we get to the first of the spastic scenes, and this one was so funny with the social worker. So he lands the job. He's like, oh my god, I bamboozled my wife. I landed the job. My brother is amazing with prosthetics. And then he meets the social worker, and he's like, oh shit, she's meeting me. I need to know, but not be me. What am I gonna do? And then we get the iconic cake face scene.
Cake face.
Oh my god. So much of the scene is so fucking funny, but there was a lot of like when the neighbor kids see him with the boobs.
Didn't like it.
I'm sorry, but okay, so you see, first of all, you shouldn't be looking at anyone changing, okay, children?
Second of all, blinds are real. Use them on your windows. Thank you. Good night.
And Robin Williams, why are we putting our very expensive wigs right outside the window?
Your brother probably did that pro bono, and I know you didn't pay for that, so
absolutely not.
Show more respect for your property.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
But he was so funny. Like, how many takes do you think was just him changing in and out of Mrs. Doubtfire's outfit? Because it had to be like 2,000.
Oh, so many. And like towards the end of the movie, they just like would speed it up because they were like, all right, we get it. Like, he's changing.
I also was like, hey, how does it feel? You gotta get past tits and this clothing and that, and then some fucking Spanx or whatever dumb shit you have to wear.
Oh, yeah.
But oh my god, he just like, everything he says to the woman is so funny. Like, she somehow steps on a mouse trap.
Oh my god, that's the best! If you wanted to cheat, you should have just asked.
I mean,
why'd you put a mouse trap in the middle of the floor, sir?
Oh my god. But everything he says is like, it's not funny if you just read it. It's his delivery.
Yeah.
And his energy.
Yep.
Like, oh god, he's freaking great. That scene was so well done. Everything about that scene was perfect, with the truck driver running it over and like the cake in the face, and then, oh god, I loved it so much. But now we get into like, all right, you got the gig, man. Now you're nannying.
And the first thing he does is he makes the children actually be nannies. These kids watch the weirdest shit on TV. I'm like, I'm concerned for you.
Hawkies.
And they're fucking rude. And then Miss Doubtfire's like, you gonna do chores now. And then they do chores. And then Miss Doubtfire's like, now you do homework. And they're like, okay, we'll go do homework. And then Miss Doubtfire cooks a meal and sets their boobs on fire.
Wait, when they were giving her like basically lip and they were like, we don't want to go do chores. This is a moment where like, if you've ever babysat kids, you're like, this is the power struggle. What do I do? And I hope that I remember this scene where I take the remote and I throw it in someone's fish tank.
Which, like, it could have hurt the fish, though. So maybe just, throw it out the window.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, but as we're cooking, and he was trying so hard to make an epic meal.
I mean, this is me cooking.
Lighting your tits on fire. Right. It happens, let me tell you.
I haven't had that happen, but everything else, that like the pot boiling over, every time I use anything in a pot, it boils over. So, yeah,
well,
I understand.
Now that I'm a little more savvy in stunt doubles, thank you, Zoe Bell, it is not Robin Williams on fire, and it is so obvious.
I was wondering that.
It is really obvious. You're like, this isn't even close to him, but it doesn't matter because it's fucking funny. It's somebody taking pot holders and putting a fire on their boobs, and like, I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and then even like the ordering of the food, I'm like, I gotta say, the character, even though he's a man-child, Daniel, he is quick on his feet, because would I have thought to order food and like have it rush delivered? No, I would have like busted out the Kraft mac and cheese box or something.
But Kate, we gotta talk about numbers, because he's making $300 a week.
I thought
he spent $135 on dinner. And if we're taking out taxes, which absolutely Sally Field's taking out taxes because she's a square, he's making $50 that first week. I mean, and as we know, he's only working 8 weeks.
And the bus only costs $1. Or not only, but it costs $1. And that seems like a lot for a bus ride. And that's going to be 50 bus rides and no dollars. So
this just doesn't seem like it's working.
I don't know.
But blows away Sally Field. And then Lydia comes out later and says, hey, thanks for making my mom happy.
That.
I'm so sorry I'm such a dick. Listen, Randy Quaid was my dad for the first half of my life.
She's like, I understand dysfunctionality. Let me tell you.
And then Robin Williams she's like, I get weird dads, so like, just give me a break. My God.
She's like, sorry, I'm rude, but thanks for making my mom happy. And I was like, oh, I love that. Then we have more fun montages where they're just kind of like all hanging out, Miss Doubtfire and the children. They ride a bike with a bike seat that is something we owned, and I would ride in the bike seat as a little kid. God. And that was super cool and I guess unique in the 90s. I don't know.
Totally.
And then now we see that Miranda, she's like full on dating Stu. Like they are dating. Like they're going steady.
And meet the kids right away. Like here's Stu and we're cuddled up on the couch.
She's like, I left work early to like do this. I was like, damn.
Yeah, she wasn't working as much after meeting Stu.
Well, he's really rich, though, so maybe she's just kind of thinking ahead.
Man,
girl.
She's kind of... So it is an upgrade, if we're all being honest.
Oh, it's definitely an upgrade.
It's absolutely an
upgrade.
But
this is where we get Stu. That's more of a thick soup than a name, really.
Oh my god. And then, like, this is where Mrs. Doubtfire is just perpetually mean to Pierce Brosnan and makes a joke about his genitals right away.
Very quick, and his only response to the rude Mrs. Doubtfire stuff is to, like, be quiet and have this, like, weird face on. And, like, that's all Pierce Brosnan does. Like, he never, like, says anything back. You're like, what?
And I absolutely love that Sally Field constantly goes to Robin Williams and is like, after Winston died,
oh my god,
when should I have sex? And she's always asking for life advice. And Mrs. Doubtfire is always saying the most extreme random shit, which makes me laugh that Sally Field keeps asking for advice. But in this case, her advice was total celibacy till I die.
Never. And Sally Field, never? I was like, Sally Field, has it been like 1 week since you've been divorced? Girl! I mean, I don't know how long since you guys have had sex. So.
But the movie does something really awesome, which is 2 of the kids find out, and then they're in on the fact that they know it's Robin Williams. And I loved that because having like all the kids react all at the same time, that's a lot. It's a lot.
Too much.
So it was like kind of cool that they could be in on it and be like, oh my god, this is fun. We get to like hang out with their dad and like, okay, he's a weirdo dressed as women, and we'll deal with this in therapy later.
Yay!
But
like
right
the
now,
rest
it's fun.
Of us. Yippee!
Oh my god.
It was a little, again, like, transphobic, I guess, is what this fits under, where they're all like, oh my god, gross! Like, that's
he's
a man.
He's a he, she, he's a half man, half woman, and I don't want to hug you, and it's because man stuff. And I was like, no, it's because boundaries, because your father's bamboozling you, and you just need a moment, Chris. Feel your feelings.
It's because lock the door when you use the bathroom, number 1, but number 2, also knock on the door. There are doors for reasons, y'all. Okay. Anyway.
Oh my god, then they go to the pool. They get to the freaking pool, Kate, and I cannot tell you how hard I laughed when he was like, Mrs. Doubtfire, you're gonna swim? And she's
like, you wicked man!
She goes, aren't there enough flesh for you to feast your eyes on?
See, and again, I feel like our mom will like do that Mrs. Doubtfire voice sometimes, and you're just like, wait, what? What's happening?
Oh my god,
What's happening?
Love it.
I do want to just make a reference because there is a scene. It's not like super funny, but like it's a little more serious. Where again, Sally Field, girl needs her own therapist because she is using Mrs. Doubtfire. That $300 a week is going towards therapy as well.
Hallelujah!
And she is like talking with her about the divorce, and Mrs. Doubtfire, who is Daniel, is like, so like, what was the problem? And then Miranda like gets real, and she's like, I hated who I was with him. I felt like I wasn't a good person, and I feel like I'm a better person now without him. And you're like, oh, that's legit.
And I cried myself to sleep at night, and like, he didn't know that.
No, because he might be Mike Wheeler from Stranger Things season 4 in the car. you know.
But it's sad. That shit's real.
It is
and she's
sad.
such a good actress that like in theory, she's a little like above this movie, right? In terms of like her acting chops, but you needed her. Like she was a strong anchor to like Robin Williams' like kookiness.
I needed her because her facial expression, like she didn't, if she was like, if her character like couldn't speak, like it would still be amazing because
Oh my god.
she did it all. But yes, we're at the pool club. I just want to point out Lydia, who is the older sister, wears a full-on fucking sweater to the pool club. And as a reminder, if you live in California, you shouldn't wear a sweater to the pool club. You guys are so weird over there with the weather. I don't know what to say about it.
Okay.
Yes, I go, oh no, Stu, that's a weird thing to do when you dive like that. That's my exact note.
Oh my god.
So,
I just love it.
Mara Wilson her character is named Natty, like I think Natalie, and they call her Natty. And she makes a comment when she sees Stu in his bathing suit. She goes, your stomach looks smaller than my dad's. And then Pierce Brosnan's just like, oh, okay. And Mrs. Doubtfire fucking goes, oh, Natty, not everyone has their own personal trainer.
Or she goes, Lydia, that's what liposuction looks like.
So fucking funny.
And Sally Field is like, this is Doubtfire. I know,
because like she doesn't take it seriously. She's like, she's a crazy old lady. It's silly. I'm like, what's happening?
Oh my god. But then basically Mrs. Doubtfire just gets drunk at the bar, hits on a lady, and throws a lime at Pierce Brosnan's head.
I hate how Mrs. Doubtfire hits on a lady because I'm kind of like, dude, you got sexually harassed in the bus and now you didn't learn your lesson? Do I gotta put you back on that fucking bus? Come on.
Oh my god.
Do better. I have a fun fact about this scene.
Yes. Tell me.
The waiter at this bar at the pool club is Robin Williams' real life brother. His older brother.
Fun.
Yeah. I don't know why I know that, but I know that.
Love it. It's like having Whoopi's child in Sister Act 2.
Whoopi! And then we get a run by fruiting.
Oh man, and don't worry because it all culminates to Friday night.
Bridges.
Dinner at 7 at Bridges.
Not Bridget's.
Not me.
Bridges.
But the bridge.
Like, we're crossing the bridge to Crazy Town.
And I gotta tell you, Kate, you gotta make up a better lie than bingo night or anything, because she just Robin Williams just caved, and you're like, no, man, you gotta say no.
It was disappointing because I felt like Robin Williams thought really quickly on his feet with literally, like, every part of the interaction he had with the TV executive guy, like, that was all thinking on your feet, because every single thing being said was, like, a lie, basically. And I was like, whoa, like, that's pretty awesome. But you couldn't think of, like, I don't know, just say someone died, you know?
Oh my god, anything. I'm sick.
Yeah.
I don't feel well.
I threw up. Right.
But this movie's so smart, Kate, because being Mrs. Doubtfire was actually a good thing, because then Mrs. Doubtfire gets the TV show.
That is true. The world is mysterious in this way. I also appreciate how we get an entire segment, which I hope the entire thing was ad-libbed, and if it was, then I do want to give a kudos not only to Robin Williams, but also to Pierce Brosnan, where they're sitting alone at the table, and Mrs. Doubtfire is like, so, I know what you're trying to get at with that gift, and then literally just goes on a monologue about different phrases for boning. And I wrote some down.
Yes!
Hide the session, part the porpoise? I don't know what the fuck that means. The horizontal mambo, rumple foreskin, the old cunnilinguist.
Oh my god.
Hide the weasel was another, or find the weasel was another one or something. It went on for it felt like 5 minutes, but I didn't hate it. It was great.
I didn't hate it either. I just kept looking at Pierce Brosnan like, what are you gonna do? And he just took it, Kate.
He just sat there quietly and was like, this is an old lady.
Little does he know that this man is going to eventually try to kill him.
Honestly, yeah. And then he shakes his hand when he finds out it's him after all that. I was like, I don't know if I would have done that, Pierce, but I don't know. All right.
Let's take a pause. Who is honestly allergic to pepper?
I don't know how you function as a human.
I don't think that could be a real allergies and live, right? There's pepper in everything.
Yeah.
There's pepper in everything. How do you tell someone not to put pepper in?
Maybe he's one of those kids from The Others who's allergic to sun. If anybody gets that reference, you get $1 from me. So.
which is $1 less than the bus plus the food
Plus
takeout minus the taxes.
We're poor. Yep.
Okay. But the back and forth between hanging out with the TV exec, hanging out with the family, going in and out of the bathroom changing, loved it. And I absolutely love that the TV exec was like, I'm getting you scotch. Because that's what would happen. Let's get drunk. You're a funny guy. I need this TV show to be great. And also it's like not doing great. And I'm just like rich and bored and old. And he gave me the alter ego of the Macaulay Culkin's Home Alone toy manager man.
Mr. Duncan?
Yes, he gave me Mr. Duncan vibes.
Smucker's
if Mr.
Jelly?
Duncan
Oh, no.
was like not married for a while and lived at home and like didn't really have like any conversations with people and ended up being a really boring TV exec. That was the vibe I got.
Well, yeah.
So.
All right.
Well,
it's fine because Mrs. Doubtfire puts a fuck ton of, I guess, pepper or some spice or some shit. First of all, if you're allergic to pepper, don't get jambalaya, okay? We've been to New Orleans, okay? And if you're not gonna have it spicy, what are you having? You don't know.
He should be having peanut butter and jelly like our father,
bullshit.
okay?
Just like a bowl of Cheerios. Watching Impractical Jokers, Pierce Brosnan. Okay. Yeah, so we get a sabotage, which, as Bridget mentioned, might be attempted murder because Pierce Brosnan starts choking.
Totally dark. Hence why the judge is like, I think you should go to a mental health facility.
Like you tried to kill someone.
Yeah. And then, like you said, he gives him the Heimlich to save him. Okay, good.
Help is on the way!
He literally goes, sorry about the pepper, man. And to your point, I would not have reacted that way. I'd be like, can somebody... This man is a danger to society.
Police? Hello? Okay. No one called, please.
But Sally Field, with this reaction...
It's just amazing.
What an angel.
Amazing. And it's even more amazing that it was reprised in Broad City in the one episode where Alana then has that reaction to Abby at dinner, and it was amazing. Sorry. It's so funny, but then immediately it's like not funny because you're like, oh yeah, oh shit, now we're at court again. Also, Mara Wilson's reaction to Mrs. Doubtfire being her dad is like, oh my god, I wrote little cry faces because she's so sad. Innocent and she has no idea what's happening, and I hate it.
I hated it too. I was like, this ain't stable.
Speaking of not stable, please never ever represent yourself in court, people, especially if you're jobless and not an attorney, because that's what Daniel does, and I think that speaks further to, yeah, you probably shouldn't be around people. Something's going on with you. Mm-mm. That's what Ted Bundy did, by the way, so I'm a little worried about it. But he tries to make an emotional speech, and I guess it's fine, but, you know, the judge's like, yeah, you can only see your kids when someone's, like, overseeing.
I also, here was my anger towards if I was Sally Field. For 14 years, you're a hot mess husband.
Yep.
And you're telling me in 2 months, you can kick fucking ass as Mrs. Doubtfire, and you couldn't just have been that for my husband the whole fucking time?
Yeah, weird. It's kind of bullshit. And he also, like, blames Miranda for the whole court decision, and I got really annoyed at that bullshit. He's like, you let that happen. It's your fault. I'm like, you fucking let that happen, bitch. Should have hired an attorney. Jesus Christ. A kindergartner.
The legal system allows you.
I'm gonna put that on my dating profile is, hey, just a quick question for all y'all men interested in me. Would you represent yourself in court? This is important, actually.
Oh my god, I absolutely love that dating question.
I bet everyone would be like, totally.
You're like, pizza, tacos, would you date yourself in court? Or would you do? Would you represent yourself in court?
Would you dress up as a housekeeper who's an English grandma and do that? What do you think? Let me know. Say no, but let me know.
But it is beautiful that then Mrs. Doubtfire gets her own show.
Yes.
This is why you gotta call to her because you're so confused at who's what. But it's
great.
So beautiful. It's like literally what Mr. Rogers should have molded into. And then, and then it ends happy because Sally feels like, listen, I don't want to fucking marry you. Ever. Okay? But like, you did get your shit together, so like, just keep doing that. And you don't need to dress up like an old lady. And then that's that.
And that's that. And I just wrote a note saying, and this is another example how women have to fix everything, including court decisions. So Hooray. That's the lesson of the movie.
And it ends, Kate, with a long-ass station wagon.
Yep. And the Full House music starts playing. No, I'm just kidding. But that'd be really funny.
Whatever happened to Mrs. Doubtfire?
And old twins come back
She burned her boobs. And threw limes at heads.
I do cry at that end scene. I don't know if I said that when we were recording, but like, oh, it's so sweet. Just the little talks about divorce, and it's not your fault, and sometimes it's better for families, and it's okay, you're still a family, it's just different. I love that.
It is. I mean, it's like, but it is. This movie is like kind of still dark. Like Robin Williams is amazing, but it's pretty.
It could be edited to be a horror movie, much like, in my opinion, Rocky. I know we haven't referenced that movie many moons, but...
Wow, that was many moons ago.
I still remember that as could easily be a horror movie.
Let me walk you home. These guys aren't so nice.
Let me give you a kiss, Adrian. No means yes. Blech. Okay.
Here's my turtles.
That's it. Cuff and Link. I will always remember that because of Dad now.
When are we making our movie game? Okay.
Oh, boy. Well, Bridge, what do you think? Would you watch or don't watch?
Absolutely watch.
Yes, agreed.
And if you have a man-child or husband that you do not like, take a pause because it might fire you up.
But also, if you are going through a divorce and it happened yesterday, but you meet Pierce Brosnan tomorrow, I say just go with it because he is going to do a weird dive off the diving board for you.
I mean, he's got a pool club and it's hot in the summer.
It's pretty unique, so take advantage.
Wow.
Well, I just sent you a email.
Oh my gosh. Should I open it?
Yes.
In 3, 2, 1.
All right. So, Mom.
Yes?
Okay. So, our movie for the podcast this week is Mrs. Doubtfire.
No! Oh, help is on the way!
We thought you were going to say hello.
Oh, I like no. I love that movie. But help is on the way. Yes, it is.
Okay, Mom's also making burgers right now because we multitask.
Oh my god, I love her. She literally did that our whole childhood.
The whole time. She didn't say hello. She said no. And I was like, do you not want me to get the quote for you?
You're like, I'm so sorry. Do you want to be left alone?
Well, she also was like grilling because, she has to be doing a minimum of 4 things at once. So,
wow.
Yeah, but that's our quote. I would have got one from Dad, but we kept missing each other. So that's Mom.
I love it. This is a much better mom quote movie.
Yeah, I think
love
so.
you, Mom. Thanks for the
you
quote.
Yeah.
And flipping burgers.
Yes. All right, Bridge. Well, it's that time.
Let's do it. I'm ready for it.
Okay, I am.
What's happening? Where are we going?
Partially ready, but let me get more ready.
Ooh.
Well, we've been doing movies that are great, but I kind of want to be selfish. Anybody surprised?
What?
I know collectively y'all said no at the same time. I would like to do a genre we haven't done in a while that I like and Bridget doesn't like.
Horror.
But I put thought into it a little bit, kind of. Somewhat.
Okay.
None of our listener picks ever seem to want to get into this genre, but this is a horror movie. We've been in the 90s a lot. We're going back. We are leaving the 90s. We're actually going to the 80s.
Oh.
Ooh, it's like early 80s. Ooh.
Oh.
So this movie, I'm sure you've seen this because it's pretty iconic. There are 10 jillion sequels, but that happened a lot with some of the earlier horror movies. And I don't know. I think it's fine. It's fun. And we actually did a movie with one of these actors already.
Wow.
I'll see if you know who it is. All right. I'm going to read you the one sentence. You ready?
Okay.
A group of camp counselors trying to reopen a summer camp called Crystal Lake, which has a grim past, are stalked by a mysterious killer. Bridge! This is the 1980 horror movie, Friday the 13th.
No.
You've seen this? This isn't bad.
I mean,
Is
maybe.
Is it trauma? Did you get chased by a killer at summer camp and I didn't know?
Oh my god.
Okay, but who's the actor that we did a movie on that's in this?
Oh my god. I don't know.
It's a guy. 6 Degrees of Who?
Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon's in this?
Yeah!
Wow.
He's got a cool death, too. Oops, spoiler. Yeah, and we did Footloose with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, Kevin. This is not at all. I want to see you in Footloose.
Well, he doesn't dance here. Sorry. Sorry, kind of. Maybe.
Okay. I'll watch
Come
it.
on, it's like summer. But like
it's
murder.
scary. Yo, but that lake is going to give some Stranger Things vibes, you know? Like, who's diving into that lake?
I love a lake. I love a summer camp. I love... I was going to say murder, and I was like, nope, don't love that. So I'm going to put on a watch list. We're going to do it.
Okay, we're going to do it. It's going to be fine. I'm going to have the lights on.
Yeah, and have your carrots, crunchy carrots.
I'll crunch my carrots. I'll crunch my celery. I'll just hope for the best.
Have Kate watch it too, so she can start to like get
Kate
into
is
these.
absolutely not watching it. This is how I got into this mess in the first place.
But
watching The Exorcist with our father when I was 12 years old. This is his fault.
Okay, well, Kate's not 12. She's like less than 1, but okay. All right, so that's that. Well, and Bridge.
Yeah.
I just want to say, if you came home
years
later from your hardworking job, I hope you never have to go to an office again, but if you do, and there is a mobile petting zoo, and there is a crazy birthday party for your daughter, and animals are running amok, and small horse ate your cake, and your husband's dancing on a table, I would deal with the cop before you got there, because somebody's got to talk to him. I don't know why he's waiting around.
I thought you were going to say, I would represent you in court.
No! And I would make sure I'm keeping an eye on the animals, and I would not invite the preschool children over to the party, so it would be a little more contained, and I would help clean it up. And then you guys might not get divorced, but you also might. Who knows? Probably not. I try to help.
Wow. Well, Kate,
Bridge,
if you decided that you wanted to open up this pop-up shop with me, and we would turn a bunch of middle-aged men into old ladies, okay?
I mean, that sounds fun.
I would sing the most epic montage with my cheek to your cheek, back and forth, and we would have Mom just sing it over and over and over again, and that would be my gift to you for the rest of our lives.
Wow, I love that. And then Pierce Brosnan can join in too.
Oh my god, with his backflips, front flips,
he's
tummies,
a lot of
dives,
tummies,
limes. Wow,
liposuction. Oh boy. Well, and listeners, if you also love old ladies. And
Dude looks like a lady.
Looks like a lady. And you love the idea of a petting zoo at a party, but only if you were told about it ahead of time and you like planned for it and there were actual people watching the animals. And if you think Sally Field and Robin Willams are amazing and just the best, you should write us a review.
Hey, we got there.
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So this movie, Mrs. Doubtfire, was requested by Molly. She went on the website, filled out the form, and it got on there. So if you have a burning desire to have us watch a movie, maybe another Robin Willams movie, maybe Sally Field. I do love Steel Magnolias. It's on my list of movies that makes me cry. I feel like no one's going to recommend that. So that's fine.
It's fine.
It's fucking fine, guys, because then I'll just keep putting fucking horror movies to fill the void. Anyway, so you can do that on there. So check that out. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee, which I have now moved that button to the home page.
Hey, what do you know?
You can find it. I finally did the thing I said I was gonna do.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking to yourself, wait a second. Coffee schmoffy. I want to get some epic merch. And let me tell you, you need to go to our store because we started off with some racy cards from 500 Days of Summer, but we have added 2 more. And Kate, I have sent you these to your house.
Why?
because they are epic.
Oh my gosh.
Just so you know, the image on the merchandise looks like it's only like men's shirts. That's not how it works, okay? It just is a men's shirt. You can click on it and then you could put it on whatever you want. You could put it on a lady's shirt. You could put it on a bag. You could put it on whatever. We are suggesting that like shirts are kind of fun for these things, but it is some epic Independence Day references. If you listen to our amazing episode, you will only get these references, and we are all part of the Inside Scoop Sissies Club. So be a part of it. And Kate, I was thinking about something, and I want to run this by you since we make up rules. Like Robin Williams on the fly.
We love rules.
I think if somebody buys merchandise, they take a picture, they can blur out their face or whatever, and email to us that we should then buy them whatever merch they want in the future.
Like one more.
Buy one, get one.
Buy one, get one with a picture.
So like if you get, let's say you buy something, I will then give you something in the future, whenever it is, whenever we get there, whenever they want to tag that in.
Okay.
If they send us an email and say, hey, this is the thing I am, and we want to see you rocking it.
Wait.
Out in the public. I said it. I said it. It was said. It's on here forever.
Be our billboard. Yes. We love walking billboards. All right, it's out there. Unless I edited it out, but I probably won't. So, wow.
That's true.
Oh, boy. Yes, listeners. So, check all that out. And we hope to hear from you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Hello!
Oh, Miss Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire in the woods at a summer camp would be scary.
She would just chuck limes at all the murderers.
Everyone's dead with a lime in their forehead. Hashtag run by fruiting. You know what? That's pretty amazing. I love that crossover.
Every person takes off a mask and they're like, I'm not actually this gender. Ooh, I'm Robin Williams. And you're like, wow, how?
No. Oh my God.
Okay, we gotta say goodbye though. So goodbye. We love you. See you next week.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.